Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, Civil War, Gruntpa Gaming. This is episode 6 of our Federal Summer 61 viewer unit only campaign using the a.o.m mod. So, last episode was very, very administrative, I hate to say. Kind of drug out a bit. Not a lot happened until the end of the episode, sadly, but it does happen like that over the winter sometimes. Sometimes the AI can be very surprising and go hell-bent for leather and attack you at every turn, or can sit nice and quiet. But in this case, as you can see by the map, as we discussed last episode, the rebel armies have been on the move. They have chopped the northern states in half at the Ohio River Valley. They have moved into Illinois. They have now, have they taken Springfield? They have taken Springfield. And they may even push further north towards Peoria and Chicago, which this is gonna be a hard one to recover from. But I did set out to make this campaign as tough as possible. I basically only have 1862 to correct this. Otherwise, Lincoln will get voted out of office. So we have our work cut out for us this campaign. But moving on from there, we do have quite a few diary entries and letters to get through. So once again, these videos are always chapters, so you skip around to whichever part you do choose. But hopefully everybody stays and listens to all the diary entries and letters, as they do add to the narrative part of this campaign. From Diary, General Gruntpa, dated 25 January, 1862. Received word today of the fall of Cincinnati. The northern states are now officially split in half at the Ohio Valley. I feel that some miscreant from the War Department absconded with General Scott's plans before heading south. That rebel, Robert Lee, comes to mind for this offense, as I know he shared Scott's confidence before his departure. It feels too close to the Anaconda plan to dissuade me otherwise. 01 February of 1861. The winter is passing us by. The rebel armies encamped just opposite side of the capital from us show no signs of movement. Pickets have had a sort of truce these last few months, exchanging newspapers, sundry goods, and gossip. I have half a mind to order an end to this, but I feel the directive might just be ignored after a few days, so I let it slide for now. Plus, there is the possibility of some useful intelligence coming from this, and I believe General Beauregard thinks the same, or they've ordered his pickets to stop also. Spring quickly approaches. I am now formulating an offensive, if the winter allows it, for March. I do know that Beauregard is thinking the same thing, being the consummate soldier that he is. It's just a matter of seeing which of us strikes first. 27 February, 1862. General Lee, not Beauregard, has struck first. Apparently the rebel forces went under reorganization just days ago, and Lee was placed in charge of several armies in Virginia. I would have expected this honor to go to Beauregard, but he may have been bypassed due to his failure to dislodge my forces over the fall and winter. General Lee wasted no time and attacked me yesterday under cover of a snowstorm. The fighting was mostly sporadic, with most of the attacks coming at the center of my line, where my forces formed at a right angle covering both approaches. Of note, the Berdan sharpshooters did a more than admirable job of holding said location, General Saga receiving laurels of praise for their performance. But I do feel those praise should have gone to O.o. Howard, the brigade's commander, so I am disappointed in General Saga's handling of the rest of his division. During a lull in the fighting, I decided I had had enough, and feeling the rebels felt the same. I ordered the Irish division from my left flank to the line of fighting and ordered an assault. The Irish, with a cry of "Fa Abala," strode forward into a hail of musketry and canister, driving the rebels before them. I feel this rousing sight will go unreported in the papers as a whole, due to Horace Greeley and his New York Tribune's anti-Irish lean. I also sent forward the stockbrokers on the right to clear some rebels into wood on that flank, where they did perform stolidly and kept said rebels from disrupting the Irish. Over the previous 2 battles, Trump seems to have regained the confidence of his men. Also of note, the Gotcha Guard performed some service in this battle. I had the command to our rear, preparing some fallback positions near the right fork road. I did not expect any action in this sector, but the rebels did manage to send a cavalry probe into the area, possibly seeking my extreme right. The guard handled them nicely, and then the Scion rifles went on to support Trump's push into the wood. I only remark on this incident, as I discovered this morning, that Colonel Jocelynn Steed was on the field with her men, and I warned General Buford there would be hell to pay if it were to occur. I will be damned if I'm going to write a letter to her family trying to explain how a 10-year-old girl should be playing with dolls and was maimed or killed on a battlefield. General Buford better arrive at my HQ while I am still sober. From the diary, Brigadier General Thomas Daywood, at Washington, D.C., dated 16 October, 1861. We are back in Washington, D.C. once again. After taking up defensive positions north of the capital, we repulsed the rebel army, followed them, and pushed them over to Bull Run. Now we were digging in south of the capital, waiting what the rebels would send at us. I woke up this morning after a night full of dreams. Nightmares that felt so real I had to pinch my arm to see if I was awake. In the last dream, my limbs were attached to ropes that led up to a machine where a bearded man, visibly drunk, sat in a huge tower and pulled on handles, controlling every step I took and every decision I made. When I failed to move, he blamed me for it. "It's all your fault, Daywood," he screamed at me, the look of a severely disturbed man. It took me a few hours before I felt that I had returned to reality. Then it suddenly hit me. My actions on the Battle of Washington, my decision to look for General Gruntpa, was just a coward's act. I should have been up there with my division, failed my responsibility as a commander. I had felt it earlier. While Vegesack and Trump may have been respectful enough not to throw it in my face, they showed signs of not respecting me as a commander of the division. I knew I still had Emusis on my side, not just a brigade commander, but truly a friend from what was now my home. I just have to find a way to earn the respect from the other two. I know that Trump will be the hardest nut to crack. An overheard conversation between Colonel Trump and Major Musk in camp. Elon! Elon! Yes, sir. Do I have to yell your name 20 times for you to acknowledge my presence? Sir, you only yelled twice. What's 2 times 10, Major Musk? Sir? Just answer the question, Major. I guess 20? That's correct. What has it got to do with you yelling my name? Nothing, Major Musk. But just listen, Elon. My long-term plan is going perfect. Soon this General Gruntpa will be out of the way for me. You mean us, sir? Yes, Elon. Us, as in USA. USA! 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 Elon, that sounded terrible. Never do that again. Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking. Yes, sir. Yes, this General Daywood is my first target. With him out of the way, the division surely will be mine. I know for a fact that he's in bad standing with General Gruntpa at the moment. Because of your failed charge at the Battle of Washington, sir? I would not call it a failed charge. Yes, we ran, but the blame came upon Daywood, just as I had planned. Does he suspect anything? No. For him, I'm just a jester. A what, sir? A jester, a funny guy, acting stupid. Because he thinks I'm stupid, and that's my strategy. Sir, you're a natural talent. Well, thank you. No, wait a minute. What did you mean by that? Nothing, sir. Just a compliment. Well, thank you, Elon. That was very kind of you. And what do you say? Should we pay a visit to the Special Tent Service Group tonight? It's on me. Just a small reward for your loyalty. Sounds great, sir. Then it's a deal. Yes, sir. But, sir? Yes, Major Musk. You only yelled my name twice. Shut up, Elon. From the Journal of Jocelynn Steed, undated from September of 1861. We departed for New York about 1 month past. The trail was hard, but the travel fast. Our first destination would be Quincy, Illinois, on our way to Chicago proper. From Chicago, we were to board onto rail cars and whisk away to New York. Travel across the open plains of the Kansas and surrounding territories was fun and full of new, beautiful sights to behold. Looking onto these vast lands, I'm confident that we are truly blessed by the Lord for our bounty. My father has kept up the good rapport with the natives of the plains, thus made the most of our ease of travel. For a small price of 20 strong ponies and a few surplus goods from out of our wagons, we managed to procure the services of some of 20 extra native guards who accompany us as far as the Sea of Trees. We surmised that to be about the equivalent distance of Quincy, so we were quite satisfied with our bargain struck. Once we reached the Sea of Trees, we paid, thanked the men, said farewell to our super protectors as we parted from each other. What was once a small army, 15 of my father's ranch hands, 10 men from the Northwestern Police Agency, the Pinkertons, and 22 warriors has dwindled down significantly. We had to dust up a few nights after our native friends had departed. That has left us with 10 ranch hands and 8 police agents. During that fateful night, we were beset upon, attacked, I say. Yet strangely, I was not afraid. Instead, I felt the resolve in me to fight. I am no stranger to the workings of firearms, though I did not need of it during the commotion. Who attacked? I cannot rightly say. But by the end of it, we were shortened 10 horses and a supply wagon. A stocked wagon, mind you. 5 hands plus 2 agents dead. It saddens me to know I shall not see these brave men again. My father's closest pal and ranch foreman, Virgil, grizzled veteran of 50 more summers, was on edge from that night on until we reached Chicago. The mood among the men had changed. Everyone seemed more stern and vigilant. I personally was not in the slightest pleased with this outcome. Though Virgil tried his best to assure me that we had incurred minimal losses, I should be thankful. Thankful for what? I snapped back. 5 friends dead, $100 in supplies gone, and 10 head of horses at $200 a head gone. An expensive loss, I would say. Thankfully, we made no more disturbance to Chicago. Then by rail, we arrived in New York. As for the Sea of Trees, beautiful sight to see indeed. Truly painted by the brush of God. From the Journal of Jocelynn Steed. Undated entry from October of 1861. Dear Diary, oh brother, where do I start? My head's a whirlwind, buzzing with excitement and grave concern. There are a number of reasons for these feelings, but number one would have to be my concern the impact that the war shall have on my family and our legacy. What started as me being in this city simply to look after the affairs of my family has swiftly evolved. I was originally told that I would not be allowed to follow along with my horses to their final destination. Quickly, I was stirred into a tempest for this remark. I stood firm in my bluff that we'd pack up my men, horses, and glad to return from whence we came. They were seemingly amused and bemused at my bold words and actions. Looking across at each other, they laughed at me, smiled while handing me a closed envelope. I continued firmly proclaiming my disapproval loudly and more vehemently. I do believe that due to my tender age of 10, my words infuriatingly fell upon deaf ears. I was, in sharp, short tones, told to return to where I currently sojourn. Also instructed to read the aforementioned correspondence while simultaneously being dismissed forthright. Seeing I was getting nowhere, I grumpily complied, excusing myself like a proper lady. Inside of my envelope was a letter addressed to myself, the contents of which would go on to explain my current predicament. I, to my utter shock and dismay, have somehow been given leave to lead the men chosen to ride our fine horses. A fitting punishment for my uncouth outburst. It seemed the Lord does indeed answer the prayers of his flock, just not in the manner of which we had wished it so. I am to find a man named General Gruntpa outside of Washington, D.C. Interesting name indeed, considering his character seems to corroborate this moniker. After further inquiry as to our leader, I have learned enough about him. Grave tidings. I pray it not so. Seems to be a stern man, wild and uncouth with a touch of madness about him. Grave omens, to be sure. I'm told he's a drunkard who prefers the company of men of ill repute and spends his leisure time in the company of ungodly women, those of the lowest profession. The thought of all this is overwhelming, and instills little to no trust in this man's ability to lead, let alone win. Only time shall reveal the truth of it all. What have you gotten me into, Father? Thankfully, I have Virgil with me, as he's to getting something called rank. Probably more akin to having to babysit me. I don't like it. We'll have to remedy this. Outside of Virgil, it seems my only comfort shall be Frost, my father's trusted horse. My father trusted Frost with his life, and I shall too. I named the stallion myself at the tender age of 3 years. He is now 7 years old, going on 8 soon, and is bursting with experience. I've been left in good hands to assist in the care of almost 2,000 men and horses, maybe more than that. I don't rightly know yet. From the Journal of Jocelynn Steed, another undated entry from October of 1861. As we prepare to make our way to the army, I received some correspondence. The letter was less than inspiring. It seems without our full forces joined, our troops could not yet equal the strength of the enemy. I cannot pretend to understand military words, but I do understand it when it says our capital has fallen. I am instructed to make haste, for we are to reclaim the city soon. It does not look as though we shall make the fight, for we are behind schedule. I was not pleased with this information, but was assured by those under me that all shall be ready to depart on the morrow, first light. What a hard impression this will make on my superior. Cavalry, artillery, logistics, skirmish lines, firing lines. Most assuredly, and with double haste, I must learn these terms if I am to be taken seriously. I don't even know how to tell the soldiers to move, let alone where to move when they start. This is folly. As feared, we did not arrive in time for the attack. We were pushed back, but would have another chance soon. I finally got to meet the general, and I must say, he has made a positive impression on me. Yes, he was stern, also partaking of some libations, but he held a soft tone upon his tongue when speaking to me. This surprised me. He did exclaim his disapproval of my presence in his army, saying something to the effect, if I must suffer you, then by God I will do my utmost to mitigate your insufferable ignorance upon my men. This leads me to believe he thinks me a burden, and will surely fail him. I cannot blame him for this perspective. I did reply, my blood runs red, not yellow, mister. I think he found this answer amusing. Took a shot and said, we shall see, and dismissed me from his sight. So it begins. Our first fight comes soon. All right, just a little bit of an interruption here and an editor's note. Just so everybody knows, the diary entries for Jocelynn Steed are actually written by the man's daughter and edited by him. So, very good writer for her age, I will say, and I'm enjoying them immensely already. I hope you all do also. All right, no further ado, continuing on. A letter of Colonel Jameson Redbreast, dated 15 November 1861. Dearest Lizette, thank God I sent for you only days before the rebels entered Lexington and overran eastern Kentucky. Those bastards moved with such lightning speed all across our borders that it's as if Lucifer himself was lashing at their backs. Hope you and the little ones are fine in New York, and the accommodations I provide for you, they're adequate. Word is my division is going to be spearheading the newly formed Army of the East under command of Major General William H. Keim, some political appointee from only God knows where. We'll be moving out to the encampment of Long Island, just outside the city on the morrow. But unbeknownst to us is our final destination. My love goes out to you and the children, and I very much look forward to being in your arms soon. Forever yours, Jameson. Once again, as always, thank you everybody who has submitted diary entries and letters up to this point, helping to add to the story of this campaign. I do enjoy them immensely, and I hope everybody else does also. So, as a side note, I did add administration break. If you are following the series and writing stories up for your units as we go along, I'll be adding administration breaks onto the in the Discord to the GTCW unit stories thread. With a go-forward date from now on, because some of the entries are a few months behind, or a few episodes behind, it feels like. So there is going to be an admin break saying it should be from this date forward, from this going forward. So you should hopefully be caught up to the episodes with the writing if you are partaking of it. And also, I'm actually looking for a volunteer to take up the role of Horace Greeley. So if you have a unit here, you're not really writing anything, or you're just following along with the series and you want to join in. So this is open to every channel viewer, channel member, doesn't matter who. The New York Tribune at the time was probably the loudest of the newspapers in the nation, with a very, very loud owner and editor, Horace Greeley. And I'm looking for someone to take up that role after every episode, especially like a battle episode. You know, not administration, but like a big battle happens. You know, I need someone to write that article for us. So if anybody's interested in doing that, please DM me on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, there is a link to it in the description below. All right. So as you can see here, we're still having an issue clearing off the last battle at DC over here. Don't know why. Hopefully this clears itself up without too much hindrance from my part. But we are coming up on March, so it's not spring yet, but we're getting close. So plans for the spring are very straightforward. As I said earlier, we do have a lot of work ahead of us. So we'll start in the west and work our way east. So Army of Mississippi under Buell. Once all their troops arrive, and they should be there soon. Yep, last brigade is 1 day away. Is to move north back to Peoria, cut across over to Bloomington, and back down south to Springfield, using the rail lines for faster movement. Hoping to quickly push them out of Springfield and then move back down to St. Louis, Missouri. That should hopefully be completed within the first month of the offensive. Army of the Ohio is to head dead east to Cleveland, push out the army to the northwest from the region, which is around equal in strength. We don't know if those numbers are accurate or not. Then from Cleveland, push south to Pittsburgh and then Wheeling. Then come back down towards Marietta and then follow the river back down into Kentucky. The Army of the East is to push across on the Harper's Ferry and up into Winchester, not advancing any further from there until a fortification is built to cover the crossing here at Harper's Ferry Bridge. My grunts. Oh, looks like the battle's finally rolling off. Are all these units going south of the river? I hope so. Looks like they are. Okay, I did have a grand narrative battle planned for here. We might still have it worked off, but for now it's to push the rebels out of Washington, D.C. proper, which looks like it's just happening right now, and retake Fort Washington. Then if the Engineer Corps is available, I doubt it's going to be available. It takes a long time to build forts. Once we retake Fort Washington, they're going to push down to Akai Landing and build another fortification here. There's no troops to support them in this action, so it's going to be on its own, so it's going to take them a while. How long? Probably about 30 days to full readiness. Oop, and it's now March 1st, so while I was talking about that, we've gone over to our monthly date. But that's the plan for now. Lower Bay Squadron is to remain in the Chesapeake Bay for now. The James River Squadron here does not look like it's able to advance past the mouth of the river here. So we're going to leave them be, not attack them, as they do have ironclads in that force. And this fleet is made up of nothing but frigates. I've got rid of all of the ships of the line, so we're down to frigates and smaller. Once again, trying to hamstring itself as much as possible. We did start the construction of a new fleet up here, which is now made up of sloops of war. Because all the frigates are now in the Potomac. So they'll be getting a second one this month. They may take up position where the Lower Bay Squadron is right now, because they are the larger fleet as of right now, because once again, I'm holding to one ship added per month, and they'll be coming down south here along the Outer Banks. I'm going to move them around so they do not get engaged with any of these fortifications. I'm not sure if I want to make an attempt to take them or not. Actually, I think we do make an attempt. We should have enough firepower, so we're going to attempt to take Fort Hatteras at Pamlico Sound along the Outer Banks before we move on to blockade around Charleston and Savannah. I want to try and clear these forts out. And then the Upper Bay Squadron up here, or this one's Lower Bay Squadron too. Going to be changing the name of that. We're coming down here to Chesapeake Bay to take up their positions here. I'm going to rename these 2 squadrons. I don't know what I'm going to name them yet. All right, I think that covers everything for the coming spring offensive. It may kick off this month, depending on the weather conditions in the regions. As the weather clears up and becomes more pliable for us, I would say, because usually we have to wait till April. But if weather conditions allow it, I'll begin here in the southeast in Virginia region before coming back up here, because it's going to stay colder and snowier up here through March and April. We may be able to get the Army in Illinois moving before then. But getting the Army of the Ohio on the move is probably going to take the longest due to weather conditions. All right, but like I said, it is now March 1st, so economy. Current rate of our nation is AA+. Debt remained unchanged. We didn't cut any more bonds. Still owe $40 million. Lowest U.S. national debt has been in a very, very, very long time. Current economy cycle is recovery. Wealth of our population below average and increasing compared to the previous month. Says our revenues decreased by $34 million. That might explain the AA+. Total export volume over the last months of 370 out with 383 coming in. That's actually pretty damn high. I'm surprised. And average corporate production over the last 3 months is 454 million, a change of negative 39 million. We are lacking locomotives, niter, and food, so we have caught up on our iron shortages, apparently. Ooh, we did not have a surplus this month. We're actually in the negative. Really? You see the rebels here keep cutting bond after bond after bond. We've been keeping our spending fairly steady, but you can see the amount of bonds they are cutting. So total revenues is 360, total expenses were 366. So we got to figure out ways of earning some more money there. But a bit of that did come from, I did upgrade the banks up here in Connecticut and was it the one in Concord? There's 2 banks up here in the north. There's one outside of Boston, and there's another one up here also. I think it's up here somewhere. But I did upgrade 2 more banks. That did cost a bit of money, but that's going to help us in the long run with our financial ratings anyway. So it's money well spent. You got to make your money work for you if you want to earn money. You can't just let it sit there. You got to make it work. All right, intelligence. All right, rebels are still working on Army reorg and first conscription act. So I'm surprised they're actually allowed to create Army groups, an Army already. But they're still working on that. I know we're locked behind that particular act. Confederacy's completed final projects, rebuilt ironclads, propaganda, Confederate gunboats, cavalry reform, organization reformed, and rifled artillery. So this is probably, if they did all this has to be completed. And our relations with Great Britain are still at 39%. They have recruited no new men, unlike that big recruitment surge they did last month. And they started building 4 more ships. And Confederate arms is now at 62%, a change of negative 18, probably just because of this last bout at Washington, D.C. Strategy, national morale, we're at 55 to their 87. National support, we're at 82 to their 80. Morale of armies, we're at 90 to their 62. Men in the field, we have 97,242 in the field to their 205,821. Numbers I'm not used to seeing. It's usually the other way around. Battles won, we're 14 to their 15. Once again, some of these battles, a lot of these fights took place prior to the start of the campaign. Total casualties so far, we're at 4,570 to their 13,917. So I'm liking our numbers right now with casualties. And Beauregard is currently their commander-in-chief, or general-in-chief of the armies. You'd think it would be Lee, since Beauregard got passed up for the army. Beauregard's a corps commander, so you would think Lee'd have command of that. All right, policies. We are almost done with funding 2. Come on, show it to me. It's like a day or 2 away. It's 1.5 days from completion. So as soon as that is done, we are going to come back over this way and hit Bounties 1. Now, Bounties is something I don't normally do, but the a.o.m mod changed it. It is under the a.o.m mod, this is Army Recruitment and Reorganization. And this will allow me to unlock all the cavalry and artillery reform projects. So this is something we need. And this is going to take 86 days. So it's going to take all of spring and partway into the summer to get this done. So we need that unlocked as soon as possible. And that was actually something I forgot, that a.o.m did make that change. It's something I just completely forgot about, and that's my fault. Otherwise, I would have taken it at the start of the winter. All right, what do we got available to us? Logistics reform is tasty. This reduces the cost of our logistics, yes. Rifle artillery, we don't need. Infrastructure reform. I think we take a level of that, but I'm trying to save up for more levels of weapons production. So I think we save for that right now. Yeah, I think we save up for that right now. We're going to save up for the weapons production. We only got 2 levels of that. We need that to go faster. We need to produce more weapons. Not enough sharps to hand out the next brigade's worth yet. Yeah, the standardization's still at 0. Yeah, we got 5,833 pieces in the army. So standardization is reduced by 88%, so it takes longer and longer to get these weapons. It takes a long time to get these weapons in, so I don't know if a.o.m fully killed standardization on this or not. Hopefully it hasn't fully killed it and we get some more numbers in, but I'm looking to have at least 1 brigade per division in the army armed with them going forward. We'll see if I can make that happen or not, because they are a useful weapon even though they run out of ammunition very quickly. They are still a very useful weapon. All right, I think that covers everything for right now, so I'll be back with the next incident. All right, it's now March 15th, and we have our next engagement. I was kind of hoping this was going to happen 2 days from now, March 17th, so I'd have a good name for this episode, basing it around St. Patrick's Day, but not to be. So, Johnston's Corps, Army of Washington, supported by the Army of Kanawha, has crossed the Potomac at Harper's Ferry and come into Frederick, Maryland, attacking the Army of the East, which is under command of William Keim, and the Engineer Corps, which was right next door to them. Fremont does have the overall command since he is the senior officer, though this is really the Army of the East's show. So we're defending with 17,267 infantry, 1,914 cavalry, and 18 guns against 17,869 infantry, 2,632 cavalry, and 58 guns. So they do have a number advantage, but not much of one. And the problem with us is, I don't know about the 2 Confederate armies due to the pre-campaign setup, but this is Army of the East's first battle. So hopefully rebel morale is low from having to march through the valley in the winter and into Frederick. So temperatures are not good. They're just above freezing right now, so hopefully their morale is nice and low for us. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Frederick. We are on the Sharpsburg/Antietam map, as we are in the vicinity of that battlefield. And somehow this is a meeting engagement, even though we were on the defensive and not moving, but here's what it is. We start out right on top of the objective, so I'm not really decrying that too much. The rebels hold this entry point here on the Charlestown-Shepherdstown Road, so it's going to take them a while to get to us, as they only have the 1 crossing point here and 1 here at the dam. I know that they're probably not even going to use that one and try to shove everything across this ford here, so we do have some time for their arrival. So a very straightforward plan. The Celtic Division is going to cover the middle bridge right here. And it's a rainstorm right now and 36 degrees, so the creek is not frozen, so they have to cross at those points. As this is my army's first battle, I am definitely going to game the system on this one and hold the crossing points. The 7th Infantry Division under Mitchell is going to cover the lower bridge and the 3 crossing points by there. And I'm going to have the Cavalry Division. And for some reason, I did not upgrade the Brandenburg Dragoons' weapons. I'll have to do that after this battle. We'll be covering the crossing points here at the upper bridge by the Pride Mill and the ford south of it. And the artillery just be up on the heights here by the middle bridge. I don't understand. Everything's turning green already, even though there was just snow on the field a few days ago. And like I said, very straightforward. So I'm just going to wait for the rebels to show up. Alright, it appears the rebels were a bit closer than I initially anticipated, as they're still building some breastworks here. And their cavalry has arrived. There's a sound glitch right now. Nope. They're kind of stuck on the bridge between 2 brigades here. You get the Blue Run Bourbon Rifles firing down from above, and the Irish Legion to their front. So they're not in a very good place right now. Actually, they may have just come out ahead of the rest of the army. I do not hear anybody else out on these roads here. I could be wrong, but I'm also hearing the sound of rain in my headphones, so I may just not hear them. Why are you boys just standing there? Well, the commander's probably not anywhere nearby. Our siding. We got some good siding on these 10-pounders up here. These will eventually be upgraded to 20-pounders as soon as I have enough to hand more out. And there goes the 1st Virginia. Boys, get back to work on that. I'm not building a long wall. I didn't notice it, but it got red-lined over here for some reason, so I wasn't able to finish it, so I have to rebuild that, because I want them having fires on the approach road here. And this cavalry looks glitched out, so they're going to sit there and... They're not sucking up any rifle fire, it doesn't look like. I don't know. We'll see. I hope not. The rest of my forces is still getting in position. Kind of glad it was there in the center, not over here on the flank. I didn't even check morale at the start of this fight. Morale's at 34, so when they do push into us, like I said, their morale is not going to be very high, which is good for us as this is this army's first battle, so it'll be a nice, easy one for them. Hopefully. But it looks it for now. Alright, it's now 1554, going on 1600. Got one more lone brigade here approaching us. Bartow's Brigade, Johnson's Corps. And seems like there's more rebel forces back here in Sharpsburg itself, but I think they might be roadblocking themselves. The amount of troops are trying to shove through. And the Irish Legion just completed their breastworks. Hopefully they'll be back in formation before these guys hit the bridge. I feel like I should shift the angle on this brigade a bit. Boys, move the doler, about to hit the bridge, please. And I just got the 1st Pennsylvania Engineers to work on this nice, big, long, beautiful wall. Just because I totally forgot them back here at this edge of the map. It took them a while to get here. just going to keep marching straight at us.
Hey, don't just reload, damn you!
I wasn't expecting this to be much of a battle. This is it's going to keep going like this. It's going to be shaping up worse than even I thought it would. Your cavalry right up there on the hilltop, but we don't see them yet. Nothing on this road. Might be guarding these crossings for no reason, but I could be wrong. AI can always shift its point of attack. And it did shift the Whiskey Rebels face directly south, just in case they come down this road. But it looks like it was for no reason, but let them build those breastworks up. Keep already working on their first perk level. Alright, looks like the Scots just finished theirs. And both the cavalry brigades are done. I don't want to pull these guys back to start building more breastworks, just in case, but I think we could have the Scots work on a second set at least. And these boys will be a while. Alright, that one brigade was it, so I'll be back. Maybe they'll attack us again before nightfall, which is quickly approaching. Alright, we did hit the end of day, and the rebels were coming down the road. You did have the Stonewall Brigade approaching us, but it was right at the end of the day. So, before day ended, the rebels massed up some artillery right here on the road, so it seems like they were road blocking. As I said earlier, the rest of their force is on this road, and they're having a hard time pushing past them. So I'm not shifting any of my forces. I don't see a need to at this moment. I kind of half expect the rebels to disappear overnight, and they are still massed up there, so my artillery can just keep playing merry hell with them. How many men in overnight attrition did I take? 205, and my batteries took a lot of attrition. 13 men from Copeland. 16 from Go Blocks, really? Really? $201 men altogether. I had 4 wounded and 1 brigade. So the engineers had 19 go missing. 3rd Cav Division. Brandenburg Dragoons had 7 go missing. Ross's Raiders had 11 go missing. 7th Infantry. Wow, I must have had caps lock turned on when I wrote down the blue run bourbon rifles. I gotta fix that. They had 14 go missing. Irish Legion had 43 go missing. And Scottish Guards had 13 go missing. Celtic Division, oh, that was Celtic Division. 7th Infantry, give me that. Whiskey Rebels had 12 go missing. Hoosier Hellions had 15 go missing. Norwegian Vikings had 38 go missing. There's 1% of my force, but damn. But the rebels had 527 go missing overnight, so where's that? That's only 5% of their force, though. I really thought they were going to leave us. Oh, well, it is what it is. They're just outside of range of my batteries. Can't wait till I get more 20-pounders. Let me looking on these walls over here. It looks like the rebels are going to be approaching from this position, so we're just going to have you boys just keep digging to get that perk level. Just keep digging, boys. You're going to become very good at it. How are you boys looking? Not even halfway yet. Spanish Guard's almost halfway to their first perk. Irish Legion about halfway between the breastworks and the shooting. And Blue Run Bourbon's about 3/4. Looks like they're firing this way now. So they're firing whoever they can see. I'm surprised they can... I guess they could see them from here. You can just make them out over the tree line there. Boys lay down. Now we can't see them, but it is what it is with this game, so I'll be back with the next major incident. Alright, it's now a little after 8 a.m., and I did send some brave volunteers forward from the Irish Legion to help clear out some of these batteries that have been stacking up on the hillside here. And they moved right into caster range on this one battery. Oh, they're getting ripped. Boys lay down and engage, and let's not let that canister do too much to you boys. And now somehow they can't see them. Okay.
Keep your position, Private. Reload!
Yeah, so they were able to hit us with their guns without us being able to see them, sadly. They did take those skirmishers down pretty quick. 17 losses and that broke them, but this is everybody's first battle still, so kind of understandable. Bourbons, give me some skirmishers. Oh, you can see them from up here. Okay. Maybe let our batteries have some effect, even though they have more guns than us. Hopefully our parrots can do better against them. What I really don't understand is how they can sight us, especially this lobbing rounds over here. They're right in front of us, we can't see them, and every time we lay down, we just can't spot them, but they can spot us. It annoys the hell out of me. Your skirmishers. Right on top of the unit, so yeah. Click on them. There we go. And there's one battery driven away. Go drive the rest of these boys off. I kind of get the feeling if we could drive away the batteries up here on the road, because I have not... It still sounds like everything is just log jammed up on this hilltop. So I have a feeling if we can drive off these batteries and possibly just send skirmishers forward, I might be able to clear this battle. This has been dragging on a while for me. So just a few minutes on video for you guys, but it's been a few hours for me because I'm just running the game at one-time speed as usual. So I'm going to attempt to clear these Oh, and there's some cavalry. Who's that? Still the 1st Virginia. And the a.o.m. They might be coming up to support the batteries. Like I said, I'm going to keep trying to clear these boys out and come back with anything big happens. Alright, so 900 now in game, and we did manage to force off a few more of these batteries. The 1st Virginia Cavalry did come up and push off my skirmishers, so they kind of ran off at the same time. Looks like the Stonewall Brigade's the only infantry brigade I've seen so far. Oh, here's another one, Randolph. Finally starting to see some of their infantry come up. Looks like they got that roadblock cleared. Looks like Stonewalls came over to this fort. Not a good place for them to try and push across. It looks like they may be holding position there. Looks like the rebel army might be massing up over here. My batteries are not going to be around for much longer. I probably should move my corps commander. He keeps losing men from his staff over here. Let's kind of move you over here. And you're going the opposite direction. Oh, I got him on rally, that's why. Yep. Gotta risk it. You guys going for a Scottish position. They might be. Get up on the wall. And Minty has been wounded. Yep, and the battery's broken. So Copeland's lumberjacks just broke. Leave your skirmishers out. Blue Run, give me some men to go man those guns. Go blocks is going to break next. These batteries are so small because I don't have the artillery reform yet. Any amount of losses just kind of ruins them. Especially at the first battle. They don't have any resilience. And Hoosiers. These boys in range of you? They are. Okay. Have at them. Whiskey Rebels, how are we looking? Doesn't feel like they're getting much done over here. It looks like the Corps is just finally starting to mass up is what's going on. Boys looking. And that battery broke. Okay. Legion, give me some men for those guns. Long-range engagement, but it'll let the Hoosier Hellions level up a little bit more. It looks like the rebels are massing for a push. So, actually, that artillery fire stopped. How about you guys just return there? I think we're going to go without the guns. Just putting the infantry on the guns, yeah, puts them back in action, but not really going to do much. So, it looks like we're just going to wait for the main assault and hopefully see them off with the infantry. I'll have to probably bring the cavalry over to support. You boys gonna try and push? And they are. Okay. There is a ford here. You really can't see, but there is a ford here, right where my mouse cursor is. All right, boys, come back in. Virginia. could have sworn I told you guys to go back to your brigade. Come on. Vikings, I'm not going to move you. Rebels, stop constructing. I'm going to bring you back across to up here, because their batteries are lined up right here. We might be able to range them from this hillside here. If we can, I'm going to do that. Go away, boys. Go away. You're not welcome here. Who's this now? 8th Virginia. I think they might be coming for the Scots. Feels like they are. Wounded now. Redbreast is wounded. I know I told these guys to go back to their brigade. This is why they're getting fired on up there. That's why Redbreast got wounded. Drop the damn guns. That's why Redbreast got wounded. Those guys would not go back to their damn brigade. Kind of hard over the bridge. There they go. You guys get those orders? Yes, you did. All right, let's bring you over. Okay, these guys are glitched out. Looks like the infantry's coming next. Use your Hellions, you need more time on the firing range. Wow. They're going to try this one brigade at a time. It looks like they might. Down for a minute. I want them to get a full volley in their flank. A lot of guns. A lot of guns. Ready to stand up, boys. Give it to them. There we go. Nice full volley for the brigade. And about to eat it from the blue runs. You have knocked down to 29 morale. I'm wondering. Burnside, no birds being named after you today. Bring it across to here. Oh, you guys finally went away. Just killed. Major General Kime, Corps Commander, has been killed. We're taking some heavy officer casualties. That is not good for us. Strong defensive position for us has proven to be anything but. Why would you get off? Whatever. Just keep coming, boys. Burnside's moving with some alacrity. Battery and right there, and we can't see them. That's bull. That is complete bull. They're right there and we can't see them, but they can see us. I am calling so much BS on that. Virginia and the 60th. Yeah, there's still rope. Too bad both my batteries are broken. This is such a free fire target zone right there, right now. Ugh. There's one regiment. What these boys are thinking. You guys are running low on ammunition. We're barely doing any damage. Legion Cavalry. They actually did an en masse assault over here. I don't think I'd be able to hold everybody back, but they are not doing that. We're inside your position, just about. Go avenge your division commander. Kentucky militia. Wait, who the hell's right there that we can't see? Bartow. We're not going to have you go there. You're going to come over here in support of the bridge. Have them drop in the line right there. Go get them. We're knocking their morale down, so they shouldn't hang around much longer. Come on. Got them down to 22. They should be fleeing soon. I think the withdrawal order just went out. I just had a nice little jump on the screen here. Yep, there they go. Withdrawal order has been sent. There you go, 10 minutes on the clock. Cavalry's a little too far away to add them into the mix now. I should have brought them over with the Scottish Guard. I didn't think to do that. They're earning themselves a lot of free XP right now. Actually collecting XP faster than the Irish Legion or the Bourbons did. Breaker speed is so long. Burnside's not catching up to them. That did not go well for us at all. I mean, we did win, but... the overnight attrition was disgusting. Not as bad as the Rebels, but still disgusting for me, because a lot of the two batteries lost a lot of men, which really caused them to break way too early. And then because that damn skirmish unit glitched and want to get off those guns, Division Commander was wounded, and the Corps Commander was killed in action. Ugh. That really couldn't have gone any worse. Took down 1,900 of their 17,000 infantry, 650 of their 2,600 cavalry, 30 of their 80 guns, for totals of 2,700 of their 21,000 men. Kind of a drop in the bucket. We lost 415 of our 16,056 infantry, 18 of our 1,912 cavalry. All 11 of our guns, but we do recover them as we still hold the field. Total loss of 495 of our 18,127 men. All right. Time to go through the reports. 4th Artillery Division, Copeland's Lumberjacks did 8 to infantry, 19 to cavalry, 3rd to 4th Artillery Patrol 61. Go Block's Battery did 11 infantry, 6 to cavalry, 12 to Artillery Patrol 29. Division total of 90. Losses for Copeland: 1 dead, 13 wounded, 18 missing, total 32. Aggregate strength of 44, 42% casualties. Go Block's Battery: 6 dead, 8 wounded, 16 missing, total of 30. Aggregate strength of 53, 36% casualties, 38% for the division. I may have to send both these batteries home already. That's not good. 1st Pennsylvania Engineers did not fight, but they had 19 go missing. 3rd Cavalry Division did not fight, but they had 18 go missing altogether. 7th Infantry Division, Whiskey Rebels did not fight. Hoosier Hellions did 153 to infantry. Norwegian Vikings did not fight, but Whiskey Rebels lost 12 missing. Hoosier Hellions 4 wounded, 16 missing, for total 20. Aggregate strength 2,697, 1% casualties. Norwegian Vikings had 38 go missing. Celtic Division, Blue Run Bourbons did 678 to infantry, captured 60. When the hell did he get into hand-to-hand? At what point did they get into hand-to-hand? 118 to cavalry, 11 artillery for total 869. The Irish Legion did 514 to infantry, 447 to cavalry, 48 to artillery for total 1,009. I think these two might be backwards. Yeah, I think the blue runs are on the second line. And the Scottish Guards did 164 to infantry. Strength reports. Yeah, I think the Irish Legion's the top one. Irish Legion, 40 dead, 98 wounded, 70 missing. Total 208. Aggregate strength 2,533, 8% casualties. Blue Run Bourbons, 12 dead, 45 wounded, 26 missing, total of 83. Aggregate 2,623, 3% casualties. And the Scottish Guard, 3 dead, 16 wounded, 16 missing, total 35. Aggregate 2,695, 1% casualties. Division total 7,000. Total of 326 men lost, 3% casualties for the division. All right. Who will we lose? Minty's wounded. Colonel Redbreast is wounded. And Major General Kime killed in action. Battery commander wounded, division commander wounded, and a corps commander killed in action. Not something you're used to seeing this early in the war. All right, let's see if we got any of the rebel officers. Wounded McCausland. Wounded Jeb Stewart. And wounded J.S. Williams. We wounded 3 of their officers. One of them a big name. I'll get closed out of here, and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Victory at the Battle of Frederick. Johnson's Corps Army of Washington retreating in panic, along with Army of the Kanawha. And Colonel Redbreast became a national hero out of that, so he's going to get a promotion, but I don't know how long he's going to be out of action. Don't know how badly he's wounded. The game does not tell you. Battle of Frederick was ending with Johnson's Corps retreating in panic. The enemy's reportedly suffered total casualties of 2,655 men. There were 347 killed and 345 captured. Our casualties totaled 495 men, with 62 dead, 249 missing, and the rest are wounded. We've captured 1,165 rifles and 8 guns from the field and paroled 354 rebel prisoners, as we do not have any prison camps. All right, first things first. All right, Keim's dead. We don't have any more major generals sitting in the wings, so one of our division commanders is getting a promotion. Can't promote Redbreast because he's wounded. As soon as he's not wounded anymore, we'll give him a promotion to brigadier. He should actually be a major general because he's a division commander. All right, now we got to go through the division commanders and see who's getting what. But Minty's wounded. Unit is from Michigan. Henry Hunt, professional and an artilleryman. Perfect. All right, who from the... All right, even though Crittenden has better stats, Burnside's a professional officer. So under my rules, with McClellan being in charge now, Burnside's going to get the promotion. And he's already a brigadier. So this unit's from New York. New York professional. Skylar Hamilton, we do have 2 Skylar Hamiltons in the game. I did actually make another avatar. And even better, he's a professional and a West Point, and he's a professional and an infantryman. So you got the job. I'm gonna replace you with Burnside, because McClellan would favor that. Now for the remaining division commanders. Martindale. Grant could get one, but I kind of want to leave him out, so I'm not even going to look at Tradoc. Daywood, Saga, Keys. I think Sherman gets to command next. Or Meade. Or even Kearney. Two levels of fame. Right now it looks like Sherman's going to get the Corps. Yep, I think it's Sherman. All right, who's going to promotion here? Blinker? No. Charles? No. Vargas? No. Nobody's jumping out at me for that command. Possibly Sumner. Or even McCook. Yeah, nobody's just jumping out at me. That's the problem. We know Howard can get it. He's probably got the best stats, along with Sheridan. I think it's a toss-up between Howard and Sheridan. When were you promoted? When did I promote you to Brigadier? July 3rd, 1861. Oh, and Sheridan's still a colonel. O. Howard's brigadier. So O. Howard, professional infantry, and already a brigadier. He is going to get that division. So, Maine. Not what I wanted. Who's up? Scammon, you're up. Where is... Like I said, it's going to be Sherman or Meade. July 17. July 18. Meade's got him by a day. All right, O. Howard. You are. So Howard is now commander of the 2nd Infantry Division. Where the hell did Meade go? And George Meade is now the commander of the Army of the East. As soon as Redbreast comes back, we'll give him back command of the Celtic Division, along with a promotion. Let's get that rolled off. So they're not going to be ready in time for the offensive, I don't think. As long as I can make it to Winchester. Because the snows are clearing and the weather's getting warmer. It's almost time to start doing things. I want the Grunts at least halfway into the green before I make their next move with them, which is going after Fort Washington and reclaiming that. And then putting a garrison in there. It looks like the rebels might have pulled a bunch of forces. Yeah, these two corps were over here at Wheeling and Grafton, so they moved eastwards. So if we can shove the Army of Northwest out of the way, they're going up to 27,000 men. That might be an issue. But if we can shove them out of the way and get back down into Wheeling and Grafton, we might be able to pincer them into the valley. Put them in a low supply area. That'd be really good for us. Still at 19. Western Army and Indian Army have not moved yet, but my intel on them, it doesn't give me a date, but I know that intel's old. The fact they're not on the move is a little worrisome. All right. Again, I do believe we're going to end this episode here. I'm going to try and stick to my 1 battle per episode rule. Otherwise, I may change that rule. Depends on how long this campaign is going to take. But Now we got one of the other armies into the field. Hopefully we get some more unit stories flowing in. So once again, if you're new viewer, returning viewer, not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember that bell icon so the next video comes out. Following along in the series and enjoying it, don't forget to bayonet that like button and butt stroke that comment section. And as always, comments, please do keep them coming. Every little bit does help the algorithm. And also, if you don't even need to be a channel member, just a channel viewer. If you'd like to add a brigade battery to the armies, just let me know in the comments below. Type of unit, state it's from, weapons, uniforms, officers, and I'll oblige on all counts if possible. And as you just saw during my officer replacements here, I'm not guaranteeing your commanders will stay in command of your chosen units. If they are up for a promotion, they will be promoted. I can't let good commanders sit idle and put bad ones in charge sometimes. But that all depends on who's in command of the army at the top at the War Department. So I will see you all at the next episode. Stay grumpy.